Hello, everyone. This is part two of three in this series that I'm kind of running to give some gameplay and commentary on my deck building process for this Pixelborn Lorcana tournament that I'm participating in. It's a double elimination tournament, and the format of the tournament is that we need to run against our opponents. It's best 2 out of 3, but for each of the 3 games that we're potentially playing, we need to use a different deck with a different ink color combination. And all 3 decks must span the 6 ink colors there. So part one of this video, I showcased kind of the deck that I was the most used to playing and what I feel like to be the strongest, which is the Amber Steel deck. And so the question now is I needed to come up with 2 more kind of decks utilizing Amethyst, Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby. And so I was really intrigued by Amethyst Emerald. And so I kind of built a deck around that. And so this is the iteration of the deck that I like. I was pretty familiar with Amethyst Steel because I had been running it a lot before all of the Amber Song cards were released. And I played up against a lot of Amethyst Emerald cards or decks. And so I was pretty familiar with generally how a deck like that goes. I knew that typically you have Genie, which is a great card for Temple as well as Cruella. I had Peter Pan in there just to provide some evasive either to quest or to deal with opponents' evasives. I added a new Hans, which I think is a great kind of pressure card because it quests for 3 lore and it only costs 4 in order to play. If I can find where that Hans is. Yeah, it's a 3/3 that quests for 3, which is great. And then in purple, we have Pascal, Brooms, Yzma, Friends on the Other Side, card draw stuff. So here, we are not going control. So this is not a control type deck. This is a tempo kind of as close to a rush now as I think you can get nowadays, given all of the like grab your swords, board wipe stuff. So instead of running our control stuff like Elsa or Pocket Watch, we're running straight up rush cards with Rafiki and Flotsam and Zeus. So the uninkables we have here are the Genie, the Rafiki, and then the Zeus and the Flotsam. So most of them are the rush cards just to make it a little bit faster for our deck to kind of swing in and still have a creature on board to quest with. We're going to essentially use this deck to try to get as much lore as possible early on. So we got Pascal's to earn lore, the Cruellas, Peters with evasive, Jetsam and Flotsam. Both can have evasive. Magic Brooms and Mickey's, hopefully to provide tempo. And then Hans later and Genie, hopefully for finisher. Ideally, if for example, if our deck isn't close to winning around like turn 6 or 7, and opponent is playing a control-y type deck, our deck is going to lose. So yeah, you have to know your matchups. If you're playing a like Stitch Rush deck, you can take a little bit more time, make sure you have the board stay under control. But if I see we're playing like Steel, Mirror, or kind of a Pocket Watch Elsa sort of deck, I'll be most likely questing. Unless I can get a really favorable trade, questing is probably going to be the way to go. So that is the gameplay with this deck, and I definitely need a lot more practice with this deck than I did with the Amber Steel deck. So let's get into some games and see how they play out. Cool. So we got let's figure out our turn 2. That Aladdin on turn 2 feels kind of bad. It's certainly an inkable card. Rafiki we probably want to keep. Zeus we don't want to keep. Jetsam we want to keep. We're probably gonna ink a Rafiki is so nice sometimes on turn 3, but we're probably gonna want the Maleficent, Jetsam, Flossom, and Friends on the other side. And let's just see how this goes. Okay. So Yzma is a better turn 2 drop than the Aladdin, so I guess I'm okay. Ideally, we would have gotten the Pascal for a turn 1 play, but this is okay. Our opponent is also thinking. So we're probably going to ink the Aladdin. Turn 1. Okay, so opponent's playing Steel. I forgot what they inked. I think it was a green card. Steel Emerald. Okay. Don't mind seeing Aurora there. That's not bad either. I think we're probably going to prioritize the Hans over the Jetsam. Though, probably not. No, I think the Jetsam is better. So we will ink the Hans, play out the Yzma, pass the turn. Next turn, we're probably going to play out a Maleficent. Likely inking a Friends on the other side, or hopefully something out. But if they quest with the Aurora, I might play out the Rafiki. Wow. Are they rushing with this Steel Sapphire? Interesting. I mean, 2 Jetsams. I don't think we need 2 Jetsams, which is nice. We can ink one of those. Play out the Rafiki, kill an Aurora, and then quest with the Yzma, and look at the top of the deck. And we really don't want Peter Pan, so we'll put it on the bottom. This is nice. It makes our opponent have to make a decision. Did they run the goons into the Yzma or the Rafiki? Because very likely they know that if they don't kill the Rafiki, I'm gonna run the Rafiki into the Aurora. If they try to quest. They are questing. Bold. Okay. They have a bodyguard? No, they have Maleficent. Okay, so they're also going for like their kind of fast plan. Probably ink a broom. I'm gonna end up singing Friend on the other side with Rafiki. Okay. None of these are great. I have 4 ink to play with. I can get out both the Cruella and the broom. Probably that's gonna be my play. So we'll ink the Maleficent and play out the Cruella, broom. We will actually return the Aurora back to their deck. And then kill the Aurora and pass the turn. Yep. That Maleficent now is the main thing. So I think we can deal with the Maleficent. Man, they have a lot of Maleficents. Oof. Okay, that takes care of 2 of my characters. Aladdin is not gonna help. You have to play our Jetsam. Gonna ink an Aladdin. And we will quest and pass the turn. So we need to kill their Maleficent somehow. Oh, and they have a Cerberus. So we need to really draw into our big cards now. That's not one of our big cards. Let's see if we get something. Okay, that's nice. I think we'll play out the brooms. Return another one of the Auroras. Need to kill their Maleficent. And we might as well Inky Hans. And hopefully stem the bleeding a little bit. So we'll play out a Genie to return their Cerberus or whatever card. We can run the broom into their goons. And hopefully we'll stabilize a little bit. Kristoff, okay. That's fine. Run the Genie. Turn the Cerberus. Inka Mickey. And pass the turn. I'm giving them the Kristoff 2 lore because it was just a little bit harder to deal with the Cerberus. It's a lot easier to deal with. Probably, yeah, want to play Zeus. To run Zeus into it. But Blossom is so tempting too. No, we really need the friends on the other side. Okay. I mean, we have a Rafiki. Maybe we do run the Flotsam into the Kristoff. And then quest with the Genie and pass. And hopefully they don't have a 2 lore character in hand. That's excellent. I'm very happy to see that. Let's draw a card first. That's not the best. Might as well. Yeah, we might as well ink it. Cerberuses are very difficult to deal with. Yeah. We will have to just kind of try to stabilize as best we can. But yeah, I don't think we can win this match. Just always on the back for a little bit too much there. Yeah. It's game. Let's try game number 2. I think opponent just had a little bit too much pressure early game. Normally I should be, or this deck should be the one trying to apply pressure, but maybe there's not enough early game lore cards in my deck. It's still a little bit too much mid game. So yeah, maybe that's part of why we're running multiple test games before the actual tournaments. See if we need to modify and change up our decks into something a little bit better. So let's see. Turn 3. Maleficent. Singing Friends on the other side. Okay, so we're gonna try this time to just stick with the lore gaining strategy. So we'll play out Aladdin on turn 2, Maleficent on turn 3, Zeus or Hans on turn 4, and then Flotsam on turn 5. Nice, and Jetsam. So we'll actually do the Jetsam Flotsam strategy. So we don't need a magic broom. And pass the turn. And then we will ink the Hans now, since if we're going to be running Jetsam Flotsams. Okay, so if opponent is also running Steel, then we know that they have they're not super controlling, so we can try to go a little bit faster. Nice. Genie is great. We'll ink a Hans. Lay out the Aladdin. And I am very happy to trade my Aladdin into the Aurora. Okay. We will... Pascal's nice, but a little bit too late. Play out the Maleficent, draw a card, trade off with the Aurora, and pass the turn. So now I think at least the plan is to sing Friends on the other side and play the Jetsam. Try to get to 6 ink just to be able to play out our multiple genies for value. Yep. They have the steel deck. Thankfully, we have a Zeus to deal with the beast. Oof. Lots of uninkables. Lots of uninkables. That's... what even is this? Well, I guess we start running out some of our uninkables and dealing with their characters. We can play out a Zeus to take out the beast next turn. Ooh. That's no bueno. Thankfully, we have a lot of Zeuses. That is a great card to see. Play out a Zeus. Take out the beast. Take out the flounder, might as well. And pass the turn. So next turn, we just try to multiple genie. Cerberus is nice. I'm gonna take out the Scar first, because that was earning them like 2 lore. Hopefully they don't have another Cerberus. Oof, another Scar, huh? Well, we play out the genie, return the Scar, pass the turn. Probably rinse and repeat, right? Return another Scar back. Actually, this time I'm probably gonna return the Cerberus back. Yeah, we have Zeus's to take care of their Scar, so we actually are more okay with them questing for 2 with Scar. It'll put them up to 14, but it'll be okay. Drop the Zeus. Like that. Now an Yzma and Quest. And pass the turn. It's gonna be a race. I have one more genie. Yeesh. Okay. Hopefully they don't have another grab your swords. Okay, that's an easy return target. Pass. So they are on a 2-turn clock. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So if they play out the Maleficent, they'll still be at 19. It's a close one. Okay. Okie dokie. We quested everything. Yeah, Flotsam. And I guess we can only hope that they don't have enough to prevent us from winning next turn. 1 swords won't do it. They need 2 swords in hand, or they need swords and fire the cannon, or they need waste 3 sources of removal right now. And yes, just got through. Awesome. Yeah, so this is definitely a harder deck to run than I feel like the Amber Steel, but it's still pretty strong in my opinion. Good enough. I'll probably test a little bit more on it. But yeah, so that's my second color combination, Amethyst Emerald. Tune in for part 3 of this series where I showcase the last remaining color set for my third deck, which is the Ruby Sapphire deck. So take care and have a great day.